Hi there. Following the TV series Slow Horses starring Gary Oldman, I read the book of that series, and I think I mentioned it in my review that it was probably the series or the dramatization excuse me, that mostly followed the book. It really was terrific. Anyway, so I decided to read the next in the series because I did really enjoy Slow Horses, and it's terrific when you find a new author who's written a number of books, and there's about a dozen, I think, in the series. That you've got really a lot of delights in store. So I got hold of the next book in the series, which is called Dead Lions. Now, it's really difficult for a writer of espionage fiction in the post-Le Carre era, because John Le Carre created this whole world of espionage, the circus, Moscow Center, etc., and he gave various departments or tradecraft elements their own unique nicknames and so on. So it sounded very authentic because he had been in the business. To follow that, either you have to go the super authentic route, which a couple of current writers have gone down. Tom Marcus, for example, and I'll be reviewing his fiction because he did work for MI5. He was a surveillance operator, and he's written a couple of fiction books. And so he just uses the actual structure of MI5 and that world, and then bases the fiction around it. Whereas Le Carre had created his own parallel world of espionage. And Mick Herron has done a similar thing without copying or really being too influenced by Le Carre. So, and it's just as intriguing a world as the circus and the centre and so on. And very much character driven, and the other thing is his style of writing is beautiful. He crafts his sentences and really has a really incisive way of getting over description of both locations, of events, and of people. This book, the second book in the series, is Dead Lions, and it starts with an old spy who sees a former target and starts following him and ends up dead. And through a convoluted sequence, Jackson Lamb from Slough House, which is the outstation of MI5, where the kind of failures are sent, he gets the job, and he has to retrace the movements of this spy and also find out really what's going on. And so that's one of the main parts of the book. And the other is the main part of MI5, which is called the Park, because it's based in Regent's Park, has been given the job of looking after a Russian oligarch who's over, and they're wooing him to make some sort of trade deal. And so that they get two of the Slough House people, the two newest members of Slough House who've just left the park, and they hope to be rehabilitated if they do a good job. And then the two strands actually come together. There's lots of twists, as you might expect from if you've read the previous book, and it's not what it seems at all. As you're reading it, you've got one impression, and it's a good one, and it's a very conventional spy story. But then it kind of all goes into the wilderness of mirrors cliche, or to use a cliche, and you really do get surprised. So quite a bit of violence as well, and some really good locations. There's one character introduced in this book who is a woman, a disabled woman, who's the top researcher in the park, and she does have echoes of Connie from the Le Carre Smiley books, who was this woman who had a encyclopedic knowledge of the Soviet target. And I don't know if it's a homage to her or, tip of the hat, but I did get echoes of Connie. Anyway, Dead Lions has already been filmed. They filmed the two books simultaneously, and it will be released later this year on TV, again starring Gary Oldman. Really looking forward to it, because the first one was such a terrific drama. I've told several of my friends about it, and they all enjoyed it. They sort of, the wow factor was there. So that's something to look forward to. And I equally look forward to reading the rest of the Slough House books. And I've actually got the next one lined up on my Kindle ready to go.